The truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free.
Hey, man, say, man, we back on the ugly truth, man. We got an amazing episode coming up for y'all, man. We got a living legend in the building. Today's title is something important. We got a very different and very special episode coming to y'all, man. We got somebody who pioneered in the industry. We got somebody who trailblazed the industry. Somebody who set standards that are now able to be obtained in today's market. We got a guest here who has done a lot, been through a lot, seen a lot, lived a lot. Let me tell y'all what today's episode is called. It's called Sex, Drugs, and Christian Rap Music. I had the opportunity, before I even knew this person, to play their music. And when I say every day, anybody that know me, they know every day I will put a song on repeat. And I might play a whole song for a day. We're going to get into that. But by this man being a pioneer and helping out the Christian rap game, helping out the world, saving souls and keeping people like me tuned in and locked in, who have now expanded and does multiple things, invest in multiple things, multiple businesses, and was actually here for us in the time that we needed it. I want to introduce to y'all none other than the great Antonius, aka Tony Codes. What's happening, my brother?
Man, everything good, bro. Everything good, man.
How you been, my brother?
Man, I'm talking about, I'm really just elated to see you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother right here in front of me, man. Chilling.
Listen, man, and that right there, man, to say brother, man, I don't take that word lightly. You dig what I'm saying?
For sure.
You a solid one. I can stand and vouch on that. But I'm just gonna tell them how we met, man, and then you can recollect the story. Then we gonna get into it. When I said I was playing this man's music every day, so I came to Atlanta in 06. I got his music in 05. So I had left the streets in like 04, 05. I got his music. I was going to church and everything. And I'm playing his music, no exaggeration. I got 2 12s and 2 15s in the back of my car. When I say beating his music, I'm talking about beating his music, and it's keeping me focused. And one day, Holmes come to the church I'm going to. And I'm like, hey, like a fan. I was a fan. It's okay to be a man and be a fan. Let me tell y'all that. Like, hey, you Antonius? He like, yeah. This like 08, 09, and Holmes put me on to, wasn't even existing. He put me onto a digital card. Do you remember that?
The drop card.
He gave me a card. You know, digital wasn't like that back in 08,
No,
09.
not yet.
And he was like, yo, follow me on this. I didn't even know how to really use it, and there was some digital stuff going on. And then I told him, I said, bro, I like your music, da-da-da. My man gave me your music. And then I was like, hey, man, my favorite song right now is Concentrated. And what you say?
Wow. How did you hear that song? So when I met you, like a lot, you probably, I don't know if I told you, but I was done with church, bro. I was like, man, I ain't never setting foot in another church as long as I live. Fuck church. That was my mentality at the time, you know what I'm saying? I roll up a blunt one morning. I got the smoking. I start walking in, Marietta, Georgia. I'm just walking, and I see that church. So I walk in there that day, and then that's how I got back, you know what I'm saying? That's how God brought me back. And then when I met you, yeah. See, Concentrate, me and my brother, God rest his soul, we did that song at his crib in the closet, and I never released it. I never knew who you were. I never knew you before we met at that church. So in my mind, I'm still wondering to this day how you got a copy of a song that I recorded in Florida, and you coming from Ohio. It had to be through my brother some way. I just don't know. I still to this day don't know how you got it, bro.
Hey,
so I knew it was something. It was some kind of connection that was there. You feel me?
Nah, that's a fact. When I did you ever release it?
Never. Never. I can't even find the song. I'm telling you, when you said that, it blew my mind because it was personal. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why that was my favorite song because I could relate. Because it says, and I told you, I said it says stay concentrated.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
of course, concentration to me is not mess with the girls, not go to the clubs, not drink, not smoking. I was heavy in church,
Yeah.
finding my way. Let me say heavy in God because you know what I mean. One thing about church that I learned is it's a hospital. And everybody in the hospital is a patient and they all hurt. And there's only a few doctors and nurses. And sometimes the doctors and nurses get it wrong. Sometimes the doctor get it wrong. The doctor could be the pastor. The people around him could be the nurses.
Right.
And they could get it wrong. I think we look at it like, oh, these people great. So when I was listening to it and I was beating it every day, I'm like, yo, Holmes a real one. Like I love this. I love this music because I know that it tells a story of where he comes from. It tells a story that I can relate to. Like, man,
Right.
I ain't soft, but I love the Lord. And I never heard nobody like, so no cap. So the dude that gave me the music, he gave me like a few other artists, like 3 other artists. I ain't gonna drop no names because I don't, but it was 3 other artists. I'm like, nah. And then he gave me like 12 songs of yours from different albums.
Mm.
And he gave me 12 songs of yours and I was beating it. It was, Concentrated was just the biggest one that just I could relate to. And then this one when you say it was like you in jail and the thing slammed. It was like
Kill Yourself.
yeah.
See, Kill Yourself was the first Christian rap I ever wrote. So that's kind of the song that got me the notoriety. It was different. The title was like, oh man, he's supposed to be a Christian. He's saying kill yourself. Like, what is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was coming off I was what they would call a secular rapper before I started doing what they call Christian rap. You know what I'm saying? So coming out that Midwest Chicago era, Do or Die, Twister, that was my flavor too. And that wasn't being done in Christian rap yet. So that's kind of what made me unique. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, definitely, because I don't remember the bar. You probably remember. It said, I'd rather be doing something than dodging bullets. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Holmes. That was in that song.
Oh, boy, time going by now, boy.
Yeah.
That was 98,
Yeah.
1998.
Yeah.
I can't even remember
So
98.
so talking about this Shy, let's go back, man. Where you originally from, man? For the people who don't know.
Man, I'm born in Freeport, Illinois. That's outside of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I'm raised in Chicago, Cobb County, Georgia, Florida, Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? I'm a soldier of love. I'm from everywhere. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
But mainly Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So just tell us the background of that. Being raised in Chicago, was both your parents together? Was they married? What was the upbringing?
Well,
You ain't got to
I
get.
grew up with a sister, a mother, and a stepfather in the house that I stayed in. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to think. Now I don't know if this is gonna make me sound old, but we got to think about the age gap. So I will be the first generation of the children who parents migrated from the South in the 60s to get the factory jobs in the Midwest. So Illinois, Wisconsin, Ohio. And I'm saying this because I get tired of, oh nigga, I'm from Cali, nigga. Nigga, I'm from Chicago, nigga. I'm from New York, nigga. When most of y'all niggas is from Mississippi, Arkansas.
Talk to him.
You know what I'm saying? The South. And we got a whole nother past that we never addressed that even ties into religion. You know what I'm saying? But to make a long story short, I'm from everywhere, bro. You feel me?
So, growing up in Chicago, having your parents there, your stepfather there, probably dibble and dabble in the streets a little bit.
Man, we all did because I'm coming from the era where the pimps, the hoes, the cocaine, the Cadillacs, and the froze. You know, so I'm from the people that taught me came from that era. They were teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Your girl Whitney Houston say she believe the children are the future. Great song. God bless her soul. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that if you don't take care of the present, the future gonna suffer. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of that was like propaganda and cliche. because if the parents in the household ain't straight, the kids ain't straight. So I'm coming from parents who were young when they had me. My mama was 16. You know, the man, my stepfather, he was 18, 19 when they got married. So really you had kids raising kids. So a lot of us in my generation, in my age, we learned how to hustle early. We grew up around our uncles and our aunts getting high, getting drunk, sneaking girls in the crib while you under the bed, you know what I'm saying? Doing all that. So we coming from a whole different monster than they did in the 70s. And then that's why now I think a lot of people get upset with the youth for today. Like, oh, these niggas out of control. They out of control. But are they really? You know what I'm saying? Or is it a repeat of what happened to us?
It's a repeat, and since we talking Christian rap music, I just want to drop a scripture where it says in Corinthians, it's better that y'all stay together and stay married if one of y'all want to stay married. And then the biggest bar that I don't even hear in the church is, for the sake that if not, your children will become unclean. And if we look around today of how many unclean children it is, and like you was talking, thinking they crazy. No, they don't have mothers and fathers in their households.
Right.
And even if they do, they're not operating in a parent role.
Right.
They're being their friends. They don't know.
Right.
Maybe they was too young, so there's no guidance. And that's a bar. Like I got a family member who, you know, they could say whatever about them. They was on drugs their whole life. All their kids is alive. None of them did no bids.
Right.
And all of them basically is what we can consider individually successful.
Right.
But my aunt and uncle been on drugs since I was born.
Right.
And I don't mean play drug, like on drugs, bro, like geeking.
Right.
But they stay in the household. They've been together like 45 years or something.
Right.
But that lets you know that having a male and a female in the house that both the kids belong to them is important.
It's important. And hats off and salute to them stepfathers, man, because that's a crazy position to put yourself in, being a stepfather. And the ones that do it from the heart and the ones that do it efficiently, they matter. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know how to play chess without my stepfather. I wouldn't know how to go fishing without my stepfather. I wouldn't know how to hustle the way I hustle without my stepfather. I wouldn't know how to put my foot down when I had to put my foot down without my stepfather. So just male influence in general is important for every child, but if the mama and the daddy can't teach them, then who gonna teach them? The media?
The streets.
The streets, you know what I'm saying?
Streets.
To answer your question, I grew up with my mama. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with my mama, and I was an old soul, and it haunted me. I started dating. They want to turn on some Slow Jodeci. I'm like, let's put on Al Green. They like, nigga, my mama listen to that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it made me an old soul, man, which I appreciate as well. You feel me? But, you know, I would say it was a decent upbringing considering my parents being young and not knowing what the fuck they do to do themselves to raise kids. You know what I'm saying? I made it this far because of their mistakes and they wins, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. But like you say, I wish I had a real father. I wish my real father was together and taught me all the things that I needed to know. But we learn through each other, you know what I'm saying?
And you know why I believe that that's important? There's no identity crisis.
Truth.
And salute to the stepfathers, but when it's a stepfather, you still searching for what was my real dad on. Right. Or why my real dad wasn't.
If he ain't around, to tell you himself and show you himself.
Yeah, like you know that's important. Again, unclean, and I think that can be broken down in so many different things. When we say unclean, is basically they're going to be rebellious. You're going to get kids that's going to be rebellious. If they cool with their stepfather, cool, but it's always 100% of the time going to be a part of who am I and who was my dad. And you dig what I'm saying? Like you always going to search for who is my real father and what do I really come from? Right. Because that's your essence.
Right.
You raising me, I appreciate it, but where do I really come from? Even when you look at adopted kids, most of them want to meet their real people.
Because y'all connected. You're connected. You go to the hospital, they want to know, did your father have cancer? What's your family history? You know what I'm saying? They want to know your family history because it's in the blood. It's in the genes. It's in the blood.
It's in your DNA. That's your legacy.
You're connected. You're connected.
So let's go back to the Bible again. It was again throughout the whole Bible when they talked about legacy, it was always the man who they named. The son of such and such, Jacob, Abraham, Joshua, Joseph, da 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 da.
Yeah, the men.
It was the men's legacy because that's definitely who the men need to attach themselves to see what tribe they are part of.
Right.
To know
right.
what they created to do. Whether you a Levi and you a preacher, whether you a tribe of Judah and you a warrior, whether you Benjamin and you a little bit of both, whatever it is, you need to know what that is.
Right.
And so your essence is always going to search for that. So that's important what you saying of, I wish my father was in a household, and I hope we get back to that. Like, it's okay to stick it out with each other for the sake of the children. It says, stay together for the sake of the children unless your children become unclean. Sometimes as adults, we got to put our pride and AKA happiness and be like, yo, I created a kid. Now I need to do what's best for the kid.
Right. But shit, what if that kid the seed of Chucky, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what like, how do you deal with that when the parents is out of order, bro? Like, that boggles my mind, man. Like, how do you deal with that when the parents is out of order, though?
I don't think it's nothing you could do when the parents is out of order. When the parents is out of order, they out of order and they're gonna mislead their kid.
Right.
And that's
right.
where you get what I say on the show a lot: contaminated people.
Right.
There's nothing you can do. Like, you know, I say you're an exception. You was able to see what you seen, do what you do, lived how you lived, and was still able to make it out and make an impact on our country and now the world. Because
Right.
Christian rap is all over the world right now. Like,
Right.
they're traveling like what we call secular, whatever. They're humans. Christian rappers are traveling to Paris, bro,
Right. They getting that money.
for some of the foundation you laid. So let's touch on that. So,
I mean, the ugly truth.
yeah,
They getting that money, dog.
Oh,
Quit
they
playing.
getting that
They
bread.
getting that money, man.
and
yeah.
as they should. And that was before a lot of preachers preached like the money was the devil. The money is not the devil. The devil is the person.
Right.
The devil in the person.
Right,
I'm gonna get this money.
Right.
Period. You
Right.
gonna get the money.
Right.
You dig? But you was able to create. Let's just say, okay, it's the anniversary, the 50-year hip hop anniversary of hip hop, right?
It is.
Melly Mel, Funk,
Master Flex.
Funk Master Flex, and all of them, and all the older ones, they didn't see this. These niggas is getting $100, $250, $1 million a show, bro.
Right.
This niggas getting a half a ticket a show. Roddy Rich, I just seen him, man. If I go to a festival, nigga, I need a $500,000.
Right.
That's a $500,000.
Them fellas didn't see that. The old school didn't see that.
But they laid a foundation where they should get rewarded for that, and we got to come together and organize and make sure that them type people eat in every industry, whether it, because we started everything. We got to take care of it. But I definitely want to dive into something. So coming from the lifestyle, which most inner city kids live, you was able to see sex, drugs, guns, violence. What got you to give your life to Christ and start rapping Christian music?
Well, I think the whole relationship with Christ started before I knew that it was really starting, bro. Like, when you a kid and you see domestic violence, it make you do things. It made me hit the closet. I jump in my closet and grab the little Bible that the white dude from Second Baptist gave me, flip to the back, see how I'm feeling, and I start reading it. You know what I'm saying? But it was the trauma. It was the trauma that every time I experienced trauma in some form or fashion, it brought me closer to God. I went through the Sunday school, everybody stand up, sing the church hymns, and I went through the Awanas programs and all that good stuff, but nothing ever touched me for real, like when some trauma, something traumatic happened. You know what I'm saying? Which to keep it on that whole Christian hip hop thing, that's what drove me to that too. You know what I'm saying? You talk about those streets, you see your friends get murked, you see your friends lose their life over foolish things. And then you see the new generation coming up doing the same foolish things that y'all did. You know what it's like to go to jail. You don't want to go there no more. So your mind starts to shift, you know what I'm saying? That Bible say you got to be renewed in the spirit of your mind. But a lot of people don't teach that renewing is going to come by some real shit happening in your life. Even the Son of God himself had to learn obedience by the things he suffered.
And what's that better than? What's obedience better than?
Better than sacrifice, man. Better than anything that you can sacrifice. So it was the drama that led me. So as far as hip hop, 50-year anniversary, big up. I'm 76. So I am a hip hop baby. I've been through every transition of it. From when it was hip hop all the, to NWA making it gangster, you know what I'm saying? All the way to this
coming straight out
to
of
what they doing now. You know, I've been through every transition of it. So I am a hip hop child. You feel me? So for me, all them cliche, oh, you know, hip hop is a young man's game. How so? Because hip hop 50 now, which means the niggas that listen to hip hop are older now. They didn't stop listening to hip hop because they got older.
Facts.
It's still there. It's still theirs. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta respect them as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's new. It's something that's never been done before. You feel me?
So, tell me what you think, because I just heard one of the OGs of the game said, they said hip hop was everything. Hip hop was graffiti. Hip hop was dancing. Hip hop was the music. And now we just got rap, and we're making that one part of hip hop. You got artists.
Rap is a part of the hip hop culture. Hip hop is the culture in whole with the different genres of it. And that's one of the things that bothers me about Christian rap. You know, I don't know if you heard, and I appreciate the love, but as far as Christian rap goes, man, it's thumbs down on that for me, bro. And it's all a mentality shift. It's a get closer to God, and you learn things that you didn't know way back then, but now you know what I'm saying? So my whole mentality is shifted. You feel me?
Elaborate on that. Why is it thumbs down from your perspective? What part of it is thumbs down to you?
So when you say, okay, pioneer, all right, that'll take me back to maybe kind of around the beginning of it, so to say. So I know as a pioneer,
facts,
that Christian rap is a subgenre of rap music, of the hip hop community. It's a subgenre. You know what I'm saying? That means it's that big and something that's way so bigger, massed and so vast. You feel me? Which would tell me that only a certain person with a certain mindset is going to attract to that kind of music, because you're saying don't drink, don't smoke, don't party, don't do these things, give your life to the Lord. But the genre that you're a part of is saying party, smoke, hit everything moving. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the first red flags. Second red flag is being a pioneer. I remember when it started, Christian moms and dads would go to bookstores. They would buy our music as an alternative to listening to Biggie, Pop, Eminem. And what that did was created, oh, he the Christian Eminem. Oh, he the Christian Pop. Oh, he the Christian Biggie. I rap before the Christian rap, and I never wanted to be an alternative to anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Hard.
And it really started bothering me when the Christian rappers start, don't be like the world, talking about the so-called worldly artists. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they the devil, all they want is they bling. That now that I'm older and see things different, man, I understand when God said, don't separate the wheat from the tare. Christian people, they like to separate the wheat from the tare, man. You know what I'm saying? The wheat look just like the tare. You can't tell the two apart. God specifically told us not to rip up the wheat, bro.
Why he tell
not
us
to
that?
rip up the tare, because you can possibly rip up some of the wheat with it. You
Bars.
feel me? So, but we don't look at it like that. We what about them over there? And they forget what he said. Blessed is those with the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Because everybody ain't got them joints. You know what I'm saying? There's things we forget as real believers, bro. So that whole genre, man, that whole subgenre of a big genre is very disrespectful, bro, in the way they handle what they handle, bro. And I guess as an OG, I'm like, nah, bro, y'all gotta do that different. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be original. If God is so big and so vast and so powerful, why you feel he can't give you something original? Why we gotta sound like a knockoff of something else, bro? No alternatives, man. It gotta be real deal, bro.
Nah, I love that. I love that, and that's the truth. And just to touch on the wheat and the tare, who gonna be the light to these people? Who was the light to Paul? Who was the light? If we separate ourselves and we stay in our four walls, we stay in our church, and we never go outside and mingle, so to speak. It said be in the world, not of it. I don't have to do what you do, but I can shine light. I can be a great person to you, where you like, okay, cool, I see what you're doing.
No doubt.
And that could be an influence. And that's what your music was. That's what your music is to the world, bro. Like, and I know you don't see it yet because I ain't gonna say you humble, but you're humble and you don't understand your impact just because most people who come from where we come from, they're like, whatever. Like, yeah, I signed autographs, yeah, I did shows, but
because we ain't do it for that. That was my out. And I share it with the world, you know what I'm saying? It's more like I'm an artist that makes the music for myself and then share it with people. So I really don't give a damn what nobody think about, oh man, he be cussing and he supposed to be a Christian, and I don't give a damn about none of that, you know what I'm saying? Because I make the music for me.
And we, you know what we associate Christianity to, which we not really Christians, we in the kingdom.
At all.
We associate, whenever we say Christian, we associate perfection. Perfect.
Yeah.
So soon as, and niggas try to hold themselves to that standard. Like, I got a little nigga, he mad at me right now. He blocked me online because his sister, like, she keep having kids. And I'm like, yo, where's the dad? He's like, you always in women's business. I'm like, bro, why you mad at me? Like, bro, I'm really cracking jokes, but you're not perfect, bro. And Christians strive for perfection, and I don't know where that is. We're not called to carry Christ's cross. We're not called to go to the cross. We wasn't called to die for each other, so to speak.
Right.
It do say there's no greater love than if a man died for his brother. Cool, that's realness. We're not called to be Christ. We're called to be Christ-like, meaning we do what our purpose was. Christ's purpose was to die on the cross.
Right.
That's not my purpose.
Right. He did it.
He did it for us, and we got to understand what our purpose is as kingdom believers. As believers, what is your purpose? Because it could be music, it can be art, it could be producing, but the light shine. Like one person who I do like, who is around the whole industry, and everybody knows what he does, is Zaytoven. Zaytoven, every Sunday, he playing for the church, he doing this, that, and the third. And just because he don't drink and smoke, that doesn't mean nothing. But he doesn't drink and smoke because that's who he is. But he's able to talk to a person and get him some life because he's representing Christ in him and what he's supposed to do. So if I tell a nigga to quit smoking and quit drinking, he could do that. And I can go back and now he popping pills. And then I say quit popping pills. Now he's snorting. The thing of it is we got to get them to figure out what the root is, and this is what 95% of the church don't do. Allow the Holy Spirit to deal with these people, bro. Allow God to deal with these people. Hey, listen, bro. Instead of me telling you don't smoke, I can tell you get more tuned in. Get more tuned in with God, because me telling you stop smoking, you might have stopped smoking because you lost your mother. You might have stopped smoking.
Trauma.
Some trauma is what it is, and you telling him how to deal with his trauma versus connecting him with the connector.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
It go back to what we were saying earlier, and this is part of that issue, bro. An analogy in hip hop: the first two major hip hop songs was Hip Hop, Rapper's Delight, and Don't Push Me
to the Edge.
All right, one was shot in a skating rink, and they had on these little tight suits, and everybody was boogieing. You know what I'm saying? The other one was shot on the streets. So from jump, you had commercial, and you had gangster, and it's two different worlds. Commercial and gangster is two different worlds. Gangster is a representation of hip hop. This is who I really am. I'm expressing myself through this art form. Commercial is I want to sell 1 million records. I want to get this money. I want to sell these records and get this money. You know what I'm saying? Christianity is the same way. Show me in the Bible where we were supposed to be called Christians. You can't.
You can't.
Just like you can't show me Easter. Just like you can't show me Christmas. You can show me where it say don't dress up the Christmas trees. Don't dress the trees up.
Don't put the ornaments up on the trees.
And then you'll have believers man, when y'all man misinterpreting the Bible and nah, man, that's black and white. And the problem is, you commercial. You ain't no gangster.
But let me tell you where even gangster come from. Come from poverty.
Yeah, no doubt.
Our whole community comes from poverty. It comes from trying to do what you said, trying to get some money.
Right.
So it's cool to tell a person to believe in God, believe this, that, and the third. And I understand the scriptures more. You know, don't give me too much where I defame your name in a context, and then don't give me not enough where I blaspheme your name or I disrespect your name because I'm stealing. I understand that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, our culture come from the struggle of not having, because you got to think about it now. You having. How many times a day are you thinking about hitting a lick? How many times a day are you looking at robbing a nigga? How many times a day are you thinking about robbing the bank? How many times a day are you thinking about where my next meal coming from?
Or who you gonna hit that night?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Why? Once you get enough money to sustain yourself, even if you're not filthy rich, once you get enough money to sustain yourself, the mindset changes. And that's why I said what you said in the beginning. It's the mind. What's the scripture? Change your mind. What is it?
You have to be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Renew your mind.
Right.
Renew your mind.
Right.
And that's every day.
No doubt.
Every day we got to renew our minds and think different and think better and think that we can. But the coldest thing, my mom just told me something. She said your environment determine your thoughts determine your actions basically determine your results, which it all boils down to environment. You can't tell a person who's starving, don't steal.
No doubt.
Just believe.
Doubt.
You know what I mean?
No
you
doubt.
can if their faith is that in God. But like you said before, if their parents are bad and they don't have no faith, they got to eat.
Right.
They're trying to survive. So once they get the attention and you start getting money and the girls start liking you and you can eat wherever you want and you get the, it's like, okay, this might be the life for me. And
but
so
that's a mindset, because is that the right life? You know what I'm saying?
It's not the right life, but it's sometimes the only life that they know, because the wheats and the tares, there's no wheat shining light on the tares saying, bro, there's something better for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Versus you going to hell and something wrong with you. Bro,
Right.
I see your talent, because it said those who are highly spiritual, you could correct those gently and you could shine light on them. And you can see, if you really discerning, you can see a person's talent, what they're good at, what they're doing. If you're really tuned in to God, it's the whole thing. If you're really tuned in, bro, I see your talent. Not only am I telling you what your talent is, I'm going to put some money behind your talent.
Right.
So when we see the youth versus tell them don't do this and don't do that, put some money behind what they're doing.
More or less showing the love than talking the love, right? What you saying? You got to show the love and not talk the love.
What scripture is that? Because we're going to talk scriptures tonight, because I love the Bible.
I mean, but I ain't want to like chop up too many scriptures. I wanted to stay on that Christian rap thing, man, because
we gonna get. We
I mean,
getting right back.
I'm glad you said that, but it's the reason I just responded like that. It's because, again, I'm learning, bro. You talk them scriptures. It say the natural man can't receive the things of the spirit. To him, it's foolishness, right? So that means no matter how many scriptures I chop up, the natural man, a certain person, a person without the ears to hear or the eyes to see, will never receive what I'm saying. And this brings me back to that Christian rap thing.
Talk to him.
Because it also says, if they hated me, they'll hate you. So why would I have aspirations as a Christian rapper to want to touch the mainstream, to want to touch the world, to want to sell millions of albums and get on big stages? Because if I get on them stages and them niggas clapping for me, bro, I'm doing something wrong. Because if they hated him,
they're supposed to hate you.
Because people don't like the ugly truth, bro. People don't like the ugly truth.
So,
and the truth is, and it's coming to light. This is why I respect where we are now. I respect the past. I'm embracing what's coming in the future, but I love what's happening now. This whole information technological era we in is waking people up, bro, because we learning. Oh, grandma, what you taught me about Sunday school was false. Oh, man, what you taught me about Jesus was false. Even from his name to everything. Man, what you taught me about this was false. So knowing that, and I'll never say that I'll turn my back on him, where's the only place that I can go? To the truth, which is him, man, him himself. And that's when it go from hip hop, the hippie to the hippie to hip hop to don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. It's a mindset, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
I got a question on some of my reading. Where is him at?
him who?
Him.
Him?
Him.
You mean the Father?
Yes, where is he at?
The Father's everywhere, bro. He's omnipresent, bro. He's everywhere at all times, bro. He's a spirit.
Where do the Son say he at?
The Son say he's in heaven, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, but he's in us, and I think that's where people lose it at. Everything is inside of us already. So as I've been doing my studies and I'm getting older, and he's in us.
Right.
Everything that we need is in us. So when we go outside searching for anything outside of what's already in us, we haven't tapped enough into us because we're creators. Bro, you're a creator.
Like he is. And we in his image.
Creating. From the producer that's producing this show, he's creating.
Right.
The music that you had an impact on my life and other people, because I put a lot of people on. Like, hey, this my man's da-da-da. Before I even knew you.
Right.
Yo, bro, y'all got to listen to this, da-da-da. Like, I had everybody banging it, bumping it. It was a creation. The creator is in us.
Right. No doubt.
And people are looking outside.
It's the gift. It's the gifts that he gave us. And see, that's what the true church is. It's not the four walls, bro. It's us coming together, exercising our gifts, and being edified by what God gave each individual. There's no denomination on that.
Facts.
There's no color on that.
Facts.
There's no sex on that.
Facts.
It's the ugly truth. You know what I'm saying? But you got commercial, and then you got gangster. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean gangster shoot 'em up.
Right.
I'm like you say, gangster coming from hard times. So if you coming from hard times, your mentality gonna be different from coming from commercial, where I can just go get anything I want. You know what I'm saying?
So to keep it on the Christian rap, man, we want a little bit of education, man. I did my research and studied a little bit. Studied a lot, man. You came from
Grapetree Records. Yep. I think I was the baby on Grapetree Records. You know, Prime Minister, Raz and New Wine. They pretty much were the first Grapetree artists that I knew of. You know what I'm saying? I try to be careful because, oh yeah, Antonius, you a pioneer of gospel rap, and I'm really not.
No,
because people
just
did it.
They before you don't mean that you're not pioneer. It's like T.I. He coined trap music. Trap has been a trap. Outkast said the trap before T.I.
Right.
T.I. coined it. You made gospel music popular, acceptable, and digestible.
Right.
So that's still a pioneer, because if it was just them and it never broke through, it would have never broke through. They sold into you, and you sold into the rest of us. So that's still a pioneer. It's always come on, man. We babies for real.
Right.
Like if we look at Abraham, and he was born 3,000 years ago. But if you pioneered something, mean you was able to coin something. You was able to take your gift and get it to the masses. They sold into you.
Right.
All of the 50 years of hip hop, cool. They don't know hip hop, hip hop.
Right.
They don't know none of that.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So at the time where you released, you was able to touch a generation that they wasn't. They was able to pour into you, which is cool, and it don't take nothing away from them. It's important because there's probably people that still listen to them. But what you was able to do was open the light, open the door for people who, I gotta say, Lecrae and Bizzle and what's the white boy name? Indy or
NEF,
NEF, but it's another one. You created the new one. Andy. That's his name. Andy Mineo.
Yeah.
You created that for them. It's okay to say that you're a pioneer. And I know you don't like to take credit for nothing. I understand that because you are who you are. But you got to understand, you created that window. You created that door for that to be open. Just like it was Cube and it was Big Daddy Kane and it was LL Cool J.
Right.
But Tupac opened a totally different door than them guys could.
Right.
So the door that you opened made it acceptable and relatable. Not even just acceptable, it was relatable that someone can receive it and tap in and be able to be like, all right, this is the route that I want to go. on the masses though, bro.
Right,
You sold
right.
hundreds of thousands of copies on Grapetree.
Right.
So that's the first artist, like no artist that we've heard before.
With no internet.
With no
With no
internet,
internet.
bro. No internet, no social media.
Dude was smart. Nollywood, the owner of that mall, he was a smart
Shout out
dude,
to
man.
Nollywood. I appreciate
Yeah,
you for
yeah,
putting
yeah,
this
yeah,
brother
yeah,
out because
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not being funny and I say, and you hate when I say this, bro. I appreciate you because it helped me when you don't know. Like whatever music, whatever helped you out, that music for me helped me out at that time because I wasn't rocking with them people at church.
Right.
I wasn't dealing with them. Nigga, I was
Right.
going to church like I made a promise to the Lord. I probably never say it online, but I made a promise and I said, all right, Lord, I do what you said. The agreement that we got, I'm going to do. And this music at the time is helping me stay on point, helping me. I'm working a dead-end job, bro, making $10, $11 an hour when I come from making $1,000 a day.
Right.
Literally, no
Right.
cap, no exaggeration on it. We talking 99, 2000, 2001, 2. Bro, a band a day is easy. Blowing the band is probably what I do on a regular.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So that's the early time. So to get someone who like, all right, bro, just go to work. And then you didn't say it in your music, but you said it in your music as following Christ. Like, right, all right, I gotta
Because
stay on point.
that's the fight. That's the fight we have, man. That's the mission. That's the end goal, and that's the fight, man. Is how can I become more like Christ? You know what I'm saying? How can I become more like Yahshua? You feel me? Whatever you want to
Yahshua.
call him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But we know who we talking about. How can I become more like him? That's the mission. That's the end game. That's the goal. And I think that's where I'm at. I'm not saying I hate Christian rappers and I dislike the genre and all of that, but I'm just saying, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Now something more real than what we thought was real has to happen. Because now we're in an age where you can't depend on the four walls no more, especially after COVID. They shut more churches down. Come on, bro. After COVID, it's getting to that point to where the word of God is so disrespected in media and so disrespected in the world, bro. It's coming to that point to where it's gonna be chased underground.
It's people who got rap contracts where they say can't say Jesus.
I mean, it's here. It's
You can't
the
say
sign of the
Jesus.
times, bro. So you can't come in. You can't just like someone a younger brother just blessed me with this revelation. He said, Tone, you want to be successful in today's music industry, you have to get rid of those old head mindsets. What you mean, bro? The standards are different. It's changed. The standards have changed. You don't have to spend $20,000 on the video no more. You don't gotta rent all of this stuff no more. The standard's different. And if you can get out of the 90s, 2000 era mindset of what the music industry was, you'll be a lot more successful.
But you know who started that? And it wasn't a Christian rap artist. And I say this all the time. Chief Keef started that.
Chief Keef.
He was in his living
In the
room
crib, bro.
shooting videos, which allows people to get out. And there should be an advisor, someone who's not scared of that young man, to talk to him and let him know this is what we do. This is where we go wrong at. We'll either plant a seed or water and immediately want to see the harvest. You could just talk to Keith.
Right.
And tell him, hey man, God still love you, or I see your talent, or this, that, and the third. Whatever God got on your heart, whatever the Spirit got on your heart to tell him, it might take 2 or 3 years for that to even come to fruition. So
Right.
we don't have to shun him or put him away. But he started what you just said, bro.
Yeah.
The boy
yeah.
was 16 with the other 16. Chop
Yeah.
was young.
Him
they was all young.
and your boy, what's his
Soulja
name?
Boy.
Internet sensation, bro. They kicked it off, bro. Most definitely. But a lot of us got stuck in the old mindset, bro. In the old way of doing things. And that's relevant to what I'm saying though. When it comes to relationship with God and the way we are, it's not church as usual no more. It's not grandma's religion no more.
You're going to have to be connected to God for yourself.
That's it.
You're not going to be able to go and just hear a sermon on Sunday and think it's going to get you through the week. But talking about relationships, I want to jump in something, and I need you to elaborate on it for a second. What is the delusion with the church in dating?
Man, dog. I'm trying not to like fall out my seat laughing, bro, but I mean, again, just like the rap music, bro. A lot of people want want alternatives to things, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of church people, man, they just use church jargon and church thought to get what they want. And what they want is sex because they lust, you know what I'm saying? Like human beings do. See a fine girl, see a handsome dude, you want him, you know what I'm saying? And if you're a human being, you're going to have those feelings that God automatically gave to you, you know what I'm saying? So the big delusion is, I could tell you a story. I don't know if I should, but I can. So I was Christian dating one time. We ended up doing something we weren't supposed to be doing in the eyes of people and in the eyes of the Lord, you know what I'm saying? This same girl calls me back sometime later and goes, God gonna punish you. He gonna punish you. I gave myself to you and he gonna punish you.
What?
And I mean, went off on me. Don't ever call me again ever in life. So when she hung up, I'm sitting there, I'm feeling bad too, dog. I'm like, God, what did I do? You keep telling me, you know, I need to chill, you know, I know I'm doing wrong. And then it just dawned on me. Well, if he gonna punish me,
He gotta punish
is
you
you not
too.
gonna punish her too? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I ain't rape you.
you feel me? But
And I think, tell me if I'm wrong, man. This is my opinion for a long time. I think they lying to these women in the church because they're making them look for what I call super niggas. And every girl in the church don't qualify for a super nigga, the ultimate nigga, the greatest, the best, the top tier. If he don't do this, and this, be by yourself. And I feel like that led to the church being 70% women because they can get 70% of the time because women gonna get their money. And a lot of men left the church because they was bashed so much. We can't control these women and their emotions, bro. I can't control how she feel and what she think. Yes, I can pray, I can do all of these things. But if you sit from the pulpit and tell her, if you feel this way, it's your husband's fault. If you act like this, your husband is the head. At the end of the day, it's plenty niggas in the Bible that got rid of their woman, bro. So I feel like they lying to them and telling them a whole lot of jargon, a whole lot of your man should be Christ at the age he is.
Right.
Bro, I'm 30 and y'all telling this woman that I should be this Christian superhero and I'm not gonna make no mistakes and your man should be this. And the man on the pulpit 70 years old.
So making kind of like a false
image of what their
of what a man should be. Right,
versus, hey, listen, this is what your man can be if you do these things. A woman is the biggest influence to a man and vice versa. If you talk to the king in him, he's going to become the king you want him to be. You talk to the nigga in me and look, girl, I'm going to show you about this nigga.
Sure.
You talk to me like a nigga,
right,
and you talk to me the way I'm talking to you.
Right.
Like if I come in the house and my attitude is wrong, let's just say it's wrong, and I'm talking to you like a nigga, and I'm talking to you the wrong way, not cussing you out, but my tone is different.
Right.
And you use the same tone, baby girl, you're going to the hospital probably.
Right.
Because no man's going to, and yes, I believe in the Lord. That don't stop no man. David, everybody in the Bible did something crazy. It's not going to stop. So what is the solution to what they're telling these young ladies that they're lying to? And a lot of these girls is dying alone, bro. I know they hate to say it because it's Kevin Samuels, but I look at the church, bro, and I go to the church today, and most of them is old women who ain't got no man because they've been lied to for the last 30 years that a man got to be perfect.
No doubt. I mean, it's all in the teaching though, bro. You know, it's all in who those females are under, allowing them to teach them. You know what I'm saying? My old man said, Daddy, you ever tried Jesus? He said, man, them pastors, man, in the 60s, man, they had a Bible in one hand, they dick in the other one, man. I was tripping in, but he wasn't lying, bro. Like, he wasn't lying. And then they not teaching them to deal with self, because when it comes to dealing with self, again, there's male nor female in him. So you got the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery.
What's the first one?
Hell, I don't even remember.
Thou shalt not have no other God before me. But keep going.
But that's the outer. That the 10 Commandments is there to let us know that sin exists. That's the outer.
Talk to him.
Now, the Lord, he deals with the inner.
Come on.
Because before you kill, you get angry. The Lord stops you at the anger so you don't kill. Before you commit adultery, you lust. He stops you at the point of, he deals with you at the point of lust so you don't commit the adultery. We are so used to the thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Let me live these to the T, that we forget to get the inner part dealt with to reflect on the outer part. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. We not being taught, bro. Nobody's teaching us, man. They teaching us that Jim Crow form of religion, bro, that never worked, never will work. And we so accustomed to it, nobody wants to get rid of it. But like I was saying, times is changing, bro. And that is slowly but surely pushing out. You know what I'm saying? And real believing, being a true believer starting to, you have to be. You have to be. The world is so out of control. If you don't believe in something and believe in it strongly, you in trouble, man.
This is what I say, and I just told somebody this the other day. I said, y'all keep saying that the world is out of, not you. Y'all saying the world out of control, the women out of control, the men ain't doing what they supposed to do. What's the da-da-da? What's the solution? I said, listen, if you're not already who you are, the wave have hit the shore. Once the wave have hit the shore, there's nothing you could do.
Sink or swim, huh?
It's done. Right. So the people who are done, and the people who are the light are light. But guess one thing I love about the Lord is when it's dark, the stars shine. Right. So those of us that have it in us, they're going to come back. They're going to start gleaning from all of the previous Antonius albums, all the previous conversations that you'd have had with people. And then once they make the same mistakes you made, now they're going to start having mercy and grace of, dang, I did this too. I wasn't, like I had somebody call me who was a Bible thumper. I did this and I did that. I said, oh, okay. Because they was talking about me like I was crazy.
Right.
You dig what and I'm sure you'd have heard it. But now I done kept my faith, though. And I'm still solid. And now you coming back around like, I'm sorry, I judged you. Right. I understand. And now you want to hear some comforting words. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm still, at this present time in my life, I'm standing on God for me. I don't have no God to give to you. And that may sound crazy, but if you think about Jesus, when he went to the mountain for himself.
By himself, man.
So with you in the music, so once you got the Grape Tree, once you start selling and doing shows, how was it like being one of the first to start doing shows and touring? How was the tours going, bro?
Man, it was like we wasn't really together on no tours, bro. It was like somebody would buy your tape or your CD. They would call the number that you provided on it.
No, how was it for you going on tour, for you doing your shows? Like, for you doing your shows, coming from where you come from?
My shows, bro, like, I always put a lot of energy into my performances. I always want to, even before the Christian rap, I want to come from the back of the club, smoking a blunt, holding a bottle of Paul Masson, gangster walking all the way to the stage. I'm a performer. So when I got saved and I started doing it for the Lord, same thing. I would perform. It was all about painting a story with my performance. So I like to take my music. I never perform a whole song all the way through. I chop that thing up and put a medley together and like just straight entertain and get my story across. And it was powerful back then. It was like songs would come on, you see kids, what they falling out in the spirit, how they used to say they falling out in the spirit, just breaking out in tears to the music, you know what I'm saying? They didn't know, like, dang, this dude went through that. This dude struggled with all that stuff. They didn't know that, but it was in the music, and it was, like you say, they had something to relate to.
You was touching the people.
I would do the shows, and I look so different from my album cover. I would walk around with the people. Just blend right in, just meeting people. Sometimes I hear little shorties talking about who they gonna smash in church, bro. This was in the church, talking about who they gonna smash, and the conversations was never godly. You walk around and it was just like going to a regular concert. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it was amazing though. So I had a problem with smoking cigarettes. I don't care where you go in the world, they always got that smoker's corner. I will find that smoker's corner, all the church Christian people that smoke Newports. And it'd be 15, 16 of them in the corner, hiding it. And I'll go out there, you got a light, Joe? Smoke with them. Oh, what's your name? My name Antonius. The rapper? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, you smoke squares? You think I'm going to hell for that? Or do you think God love me just as much as he love a person that don't smoke squares?
Talk to him.
Those my fans to this day. Them my diehard fans to this day. The other ones, brother, I heard you cuss on your song. You need to repent. And I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro, because you didn't flip in the car with me when I was calling out Jesus' name when the car was flipping over.
And your little brother.
And my little brother got threw out that thing. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't with me every time I got arrested and didn't know when I was gonna get up out that thing, bro. But I called on God's name, or he sent somebody to comfort me through my troubles. You wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? So why would I care about anybody's opinion when it comes to something so personal like that? And that kills me about Christians, man. That kills me about them, man. They too
I say the
personal,
same thing, bro. The encouragement is this, bro. They all sick.
And need a doctor, bro.
They all sick, and the doctor is God, and we supposed to be the nurses. Cool. If God is the doctor, bro, something wrong with all of us, bro.
Real talk.
Something wrong with all of us,
And
including
man,
the pastor.
And no, dog, but something wrong with them Christian rappers too. The ego. I saw a lot of that on the road, bro, with touring.
Mm-hmm.
The ego blew my mind, dog. So you'll meet one of the Christian rap brothers that was older than you, and they say, these ministers and to be a good minister. I'm like, but you ain't minister. Do you remember the show we went to and them niggas came out there in front of that little old lady at that church sagging, bro, grabbing their y'all mean, doing the Christian rap song, bro? That's the vibe. That's the vibe I'm talking about right there, dog. Like, some of these brothers ain't real, bro. Like, it was bad, man.
Nah, I understand, but you been a real one. You've been an influencer, and that's what I call you. Before we use that as a technological term, I would say today as a trigger word. But you've been an influencer in this game. You going on tour and you seeing it. You knowing what's really going on because you seeing their life. I'm sure some of them niggas was hitting females too.
Dog, was they?
I'm sure
bro,
all y'all was.
Man, look, bro, I hate to say it, but this is the ugly truth, right? The gospel industry, not just rap, but the gospel industry, period, got everything that the secular industry got. It got groupies. It got egos. It got labels misappropriating the monies. Everything you find in the secular market, you find in the gospel market. You know what I'm saying?
And I would accredit that and say, like, listen, man, if you in church, if you going to church, if you looking for God and you finding God, God is in you. It say it throughout the whole Bible. And yes, you can call me whatever you want. I love the word. I love God. God is the word.
Right.
Guess what he said? And this ain't no Bible. He said, man, heaven and earth will pass away before my word do. So that's what I love. Like, we're able to talk about God. And yes, I'd have done some of the craziest things. You'd have done some of the craziest things. Every man in the Bible would have done some of the crazy.
Right.
Loving God is loving God because you love the God that you know brought you out of situations.
Right. And that's bigger than any sin that you may have in your life. That trumps that.
So,
I was drunk when I came to the Lord for the first time. Sloppy drunk.
my promise that I'm still not going to tell, I was beyond sloppy drunk.
Yeah.
Beyond, and the crazy thing is, let me tell you this. So, I like to keep my promise to myself. But when the Lord told me my purpose, nigga, I was drunk and hungover on my mama's floor. I was 19 years old, lit, and the Lord was talking to me, and that's when I knew. Not just that I knew He was real. That's when I said, it don't matter what you got going on, long as you allow God to use you when He gonna use you.
Yeah.
You can do all the craziest stuff, but if God use you and He gonna use you for the people, that's just like everybody being captive.
Right.
And He used you to break everybody out, but you was on some nut shit before then and some nut shit after. You did what He asked you to do when He asked you to do it.
Right.
And I think that's what we gotta relate to the people of. You can still love God, bro.
No
You
doubt.
can, and God's still gonna love you.
You better, especially if you got issues, you better still love God. That's your only hope.
That's the only hope. So I want to get into, you did the tours, you went, you seen a different life.
Yeah.
You got to live that life. So if you can explain, maybe you can't, how was it going through the breakup of Grape Tree?
I don't, man, the
Or
break.
when did it stop for you? When did you stop dealing with Grape
it stopped
Tree?
for me after I had that accident with my brother and we flipped off that cliff. That was a life-changing accident. When you lose your life, when you almost lose your life.
When you say cliff, you mean a ditch?
A cliff. We riding down the highway. I hit the brake. Next thing you know, we in the air, and it sound like the Hot Wheels. Zzz. And that thing 9 times, boom, 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 flipped over. You know what I'm saying? Landed upside down. We get out of it. To make a long story short, the police said, "What kind of car was you driving?" Because the fire got so big it exploded and burnt that whole car up, dog. If we would have been out conscious, I wouldn't be sitting here with you. That alone made me look at life all the way different, where I really stopped caring about people's perspective of me, man. And then once that happened, I started looking back at the music like, I only did that to please the labels and all the people that was, oh, Antonius, the golden child. Oh, he the one. And I started creating music to please them more than what God gave me that gift for, which was to express myself, you know what I'm saying?
So you had an experience that nobody could take away from you.
Nobody could take it, man. It was a life-altering situation. Not only that, but what I had to go through after it. Then he taught me money, because my brother ended up getting a $725,000 settlement from that thing. And when he got the bread, this will be for another story. He turned into a whole nother person. I mean, today we good, love each other to death. That's my boy.
You know what everybody want to hear. Did he break you off anything?
Man, I'm going to have to tell you on the next one, dog.
Okay.
You're going to be pissed, though.
I'm going to tell you the truth. When a nigga say that, that mean no.
Man, dog, you're going to be pissed. The way it went down, you're like, dang, dog. But it showed me how people can get when they get a lot of money. You know, God puts you through situations to prep you for what's going to happen. With that happening, it made it so when I got around people with money, I knew how to act.
So with that, now we transition, because I'm loving this story. And I did my research. Before anybody come here, I did my research. How did you get to Orlando, and how was Orlando for you? What was your spirit like in Orlando? What brought you to Orlando?
Well, since we on the ugly truth, I was messing up so bad at home with my wife in Chicago, bro.
Whoa.
I had to. You ever had a situation you just had to run?
So I want to get there. Let's just go back a little bit. So you was married before?
I was married before. I knew my ex-wife 6 months. She ended up pregnant, and her uncle told us, the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn.
Y'all already was burning.
And so
too late.
It was too late. But on the same token, as a man, I didn't want to leave her with with that child. As a man,
yes.
I didn't want to leave her with that child and be another statistic like, oh, he just dipped out and he gone or whatever. But I ruined that marriage because I wasn't really, saved? I wasn't the man of God that I wanted to be. You know how rappers, they always talk about the jewelry and the cars before they get it. And then years later it manifests and then they finally get it.
Right.
It's the same thing when you become a believer. You're not quite there yet, but that's where your heart is. So that's what you speak and that's what you write about.
Right.
My heart wasn't into marriage at 19, 20 years old. My heart was still into
so you got married
other
at 19,
things.
20 years old.
At 19,
so
20 years old.
So after you got your deal, you got married.
I got married and all of it happened at the same time. It all happened around the same time.
So you got married. Did y'all have a kid?
We had a daughter. We had a daughter together. But to answer your question, I was messing that situation up so bad that another situation popped up, and this is how the devil worked, man.
Tell them how you was messing up and then get to that.
Man, I was cheating on my wife, bro. I was doing a lot of foul stuff on her, and she wasn't doing it to me is the problem. She wasn't the type that we used to dealing with nowadays. You know what I'm saying? She
Right.
did everything correctly, but it's like you were saying earlier. I felt so inadequate as a man because we would go to church, and I would see these other brothers supposedly doing so well to the point to where she would even say stuff like, oh, you need to be more like Brother Willis at the church. And women don't understand, like you were saying,
tearing down.
it tear you down, you feel me? And the reason I was telling you about her, if you don't know who you marrying, you will be in trouble. You can't know a person 6 months and then jump into a whole marriage relationship, because some things might have happened to her that I didn't know about that would have stopped her from doing things that married people do. And me not knowing, that would affect me as a man as well. To make a long story short, that's how I ended up going back, ended up in hotels, drinking Hennessy, smoking bud again, even after God had delivered me from all that stuff. It's like you said, a woman can make or break a man, and vice versa. She wasn't intentionally doing it, but because I didn't understand what was going on, it was affecting me in a way where I became a saved version of what I used to be when I was in the world, bro.
Bars.
And then boom, here comes the devil. Come down here. Let's work on your album. And boom, boom, boom. Oh, that must be God talking. Pierre, I'm out. But really, I was running from my responsibility that I had to being honest and fixing things at home with my family, bro. And I chose music over that. And then from there, it was straight hell. It was straight, oh, now that she out the way, you about to learn your lesson. You know what I'm saying? And it's been nothing but that since that. Bam, one after the other. Bam, bam. And like I said, even the Son of God himself had to learn obedience by the things in which he suffered. So now my friends like, oh, nigga, you don't want to go to the club no more? It ain't that I don't want to. But because of the things that I've suffered in my past, I know that it ain't the best thing for me. And that'll keep niggas out of jail if they live by that concept. It's been keeping me out of prison all these years, you know what I'm saying? And these are the things that you learn along that journey. So then I realized my ex-wife was never meant to be my wife. So she became a person that was a seasonal person in my life to bring me to the next level, to where God would break me some more. Then I get with another one, you know what I'm saying? And it's bad. Then now the player gets cheated on. Now I get to feel what the female feel like for the first time. And it's like, did she just say that to me? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey. And it brings you a little more closer to where God wants you to be. Like, he learning, but you know how we are, dog. We
egotistical.
We like elephants when that testosterone coming out your nostrils and your ears. When your ears clog with testosterone, it's hard to hear the Lord's voice, bro.
Ooh, that was
you know
a
what I'm
bar.
saying?
Ooh, when your ears clear, keep going.
Man, you feel me?
Keep going. I never heard
so
that.
I ruined that situation. Then I ruined another situation. And every situation I got in after that, I ruined it. Because all of those situations, I still never took the time to sit back and say, God, here's all of me. Because I want the music. I want the purpose. Sometimes you can get caught up in your purpose and you off your square and don't even know it. Like Saul was. Saul thought he was anointed when he wasn't. We fall for the same thing. It comes all back in the cycle if you don't put first things first. First things first. And you right though, but we are, as men, we are liable for what go wrong in our crib. Even a pimp will tell you that. Ain't whatever happened in my house, I'm on top of it. If it happened, that means I wasn't on top of my house.
Church.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't got that upbringing, we don't got that structure, man. How can we see these things in these little ladies and these little women? How come I wasn't wise enough to be able to look at my wife and be like, oh, something must have happened to her to make her respond like this? It was like, oh, you don't wanna mess with me? Forget you then. You know how many girls I got? I'm Pretty Tony. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty Tony with the green eyes.
You feel me? And then that's how the devil gets you, man. Then you start making these mistakes, man. And then those mistakes turn into your nightmares.
So that's basically the hurt inside of us. The
it gotta be dealt with
inside of us.
Yeah.
Got to go back to being whole in God. And really, what I said, and not what I said, what God said is, we got to be tapped into him all the way.
All the way, bro.
All the way we're whole. I love this story, bro.
Yeah,
not that I love the story, but I love that the transparency of what you're saying. It's going to help millions of people.
Right.
It's going to help millions of people. So when you got to Orlando, once you got down there, did you find a church? Did you find a girl? What did you find once you got to Orlando?
This how funny. Well, God ain't funny, but this how funny he worked.
Oh, he got a sense of humor.
So I'm down at the studio in Florida working on the album with my boy. His dad is a teacher. His dad come home one day and say, hey, there's a girl that gave me the CD of you. and she wants you to sign it for her. Matter of fact, she invited you to come to her church. Would you come to her church? There's a place called Jump Ministries. I'm like, bet, let's go, let's ride. That Sunday, he take me to that church. We get in that church, everybody going, the pastor say, what's your name? And I'm like, Antonius. The whole church get quiet. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And they was like, he's the #1 gospel rapper in the world right now. Woo, woo, woo. Make a long story short, I ended up staying at this church. Now, this was the next phase of God teaching me what real church was about.
Okay.
Now, this place, you would mistake it as an occult. You would think it was occultish, bro. Because, bro, let's have a Bible study. Let me see what the bishop say about that. Everybody was so into the bishop, it was almost scary, like nobody thought for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm down here and I'm living in it. And mind you, I'd have met another one. Because, you know, again, one of my problems was the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, when you handsome and you got it, it's always going to be the ladies.
You feel me? So I will be at this place, and when I tell you, bro, the bishop gave me the opportunity to live in a nice house in his crib. I decided to stay with the people. Dog, this place, you open the shower and the roaches running around that thing, dog. You got to get in there with the shoes on, the whole nine, dog, roach infested. These boys is living hard. And this is like eight other dudes that you never met in your life. And y'all all living in one ministry house. You got to be at the church on Sunday to make sure everything is put together for the service. Then you got to be there to tear it down. Then I started seeing people getting jobs and giving a lot of their money to the church. And the more I was around, I started seeing people putting their names on houses for the church. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. I got to touch on that. You mean, did they own the houses or they
Nah,
was just
they would get those loans for the church. And they would get a loan for a house, an old rundown bando on top of that for the church. And then they was going to put men or they was going to put women up in that thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, that used to bother me, but this is what I learned. Back then, I don't know what God has for that bishop, that pastor that was doing what I thought was wrong. But I will tell you this. I got more love and learned more love and more family and more compassion and more understanding from being under that person, even though I didn't agree with a lot of the things he did, which comes from they are the official interpreters of the word, but don't try to be like them. God can use anybody. I had to learn he didn't bring me to this place for me to judge any inconsistencies or judge any problems that this congregation had. He brought me there to show love and receive love. Because when you got to say, okay, look at the bad, but what about the good? What good came out of it? Straight love, bro. I learned how to love God harder. I learned how to love my brother harder. I learned how to love my sister harder. You living with people you never met before. Some of them strange as hell. You know what I'm saying? And you forced to love them. Y'all give to one another. Y'all help one another. The brotherhood, the bond that I had with the people of that congregation was something that I never felt was outside my immediate family. I never felt that with a person outside my immediate family. You know what I'm saying? So the respect, we sitting in church one day, he was talking, I said, yeah, amen. He said, Brother Antonius, stand up. I stood up, he said, why did you say amen? I said, because I agree with what you said. He said, what did I say? And I didn't know what he said. He said, never agree with nothing that you don't understand. Sit back down. Man, that was some of the realest teaching. That was the kind of teaching that I needed at that time in my life. Because everybody else was like, oh, you Antonius. But he was real with me.
Right.
And that's why my mindset always bucked what he had, what God had through him, because I was hurt from what went on in the church realm. And I was taking it out on dude. I could see all his issues. Like, oh man, he ain't right for that. What kind of bishop do this? What kind of bishop? Whatever. God got him in position. And he put me around him to break me down to the very last compound, bro. And it worked. all the way until I got extradited. So the bishop tell me, don't mess with any women.
Good luck.
He said it. He said,
Yeah.
Antonius, he
Pretty
talked like
Tony.
this. Hey, he talked like this. He said, Antonius, don't talk to any women. There's been 6 women inquire about you, boy. He said, get yourself together. No dating for a year. I said, yes, sir. He said, what did I say? I said, no dating for a year. Let God heal me. Get myself together. Boom. A week later.
A girl comes.
Hey, dog. Oh, girl over there, man. The usher. Staring at you, bro. Staring at you. All the way until now I'm sending Bishop office with my head down, and he's like, I told you. I told you. I was like, you did. That same girl, man, and we good friends, bro. Came out here to Atlanta. I spanked her son, bro. The daddy didn't like it. Sent DFAX to my crib. DFAX say, oh, this is nothing. Sign here, you'll never spank him. Daddy didn't like that. He put a warrant out on me in Fulton County, bro. So I'm coming from the studio one night, the police pulled me over. They run my name. Next thing you know, the big AK on my head, dog.
Damn.
It's a hit. I was like, what that mean? We got a warrant for you in Fulton County, Georgia. So I had to sit on 33rd Street in Orlando until they came, picked me up, and drove me, extradited me to Fulton County. I was never convicted of the charge, bro. They let me sit 4 years in Georgia without sending a letter, without calling, no email to say, we decided not even to press charges on you. I went down there one day and they was like, oh, we dropped this 3 years ago. I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if I would have never came here, I would have never met my first grandson.
Wow.
He was born when all that happened. I could have went back to Florida. I felt that God brought me to Atlanta for a reason. It was to reconnect with your family, because that's where all your problems start. All your problems start at childhood in your household.
Talk to him.
So I had to come back here, reconnect with my family on a different level than from the last time they saw me. This time when they saw me, that's when we met at church. They saw me going to church and being responsible. What they knew of me was get the pack and hit the block. Money by any means necessary. So now my family is getting to see a different me, even to the point of where you ain't changed. It's blowing their mind even. They seeing a whole different person. And that's how God worked. Now, being back, I'm able to deal with the things I didn't even know I had to deal with. I had to deal with all my childhood traumas that made me react to the way I react. I even found out that who I thought was my father for all the years of my life wasn't really my father.
Wait, let's talk about it.
Another episode, because it's a real deep one. That's a tearjerker. They go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button, dog. We're going to go ahead and flip that story. They're going to want to hear that one, dog.
Okay.
Spit in the cup, it came back, you're not the father. And it was a big mess, you know what I'm saying? But God's love prevailed even in that. But when he brought me here to Atlanta, it was to recondition my heart about family again. You feel me? Which brings me all the way to the lady that I'm with, which is a whole nother story. But to make that story short, she ended up going away.
Okay.
And I end up taking care of her 3 daughters.
When you say going away, you mean she was somewhere she couldn't come home at?
She
on
was
her
somewhere
own
she couldn't.
cognizance?
Yeah, absolutely
Okay,
right.
I got you.
And I ended up staying with her 3 daughters for a whole year while she was going away during COVID.
Ooh.
During COVID, bro. That's another story. But it all ties into God's love. Because even in that situation, man, I had not been there for my own kids so much that I went through the pain of that for so long that when it came back around, even though it was through somebody else's, I finally became the father that I was never able to be before God made me who I am today. You feel me? And what happens is you lose the selfishness. When you lose the selfishness, you become a real man of God. Because being a man of God, you have to be selfless. Real talk. You know what I'm saying?
Bars.
But all of these situations, I'm not perfect. I got sin in my life. But I'm telling you, all the love that came out of each and every one of these wrong situations has been nothing but powerful, life-changing powerful, and it just don't stop.
So, listen, man, you just said a whole lot that's gonna help a whole lot. We're gonna tap a little bit in because I know we got 2 more episodes. You taking care of somebody else's kids that's not yours, and you learning how to be a father. We got another episode about your pops not being your pops.
That's gonna be a whammy. That's gonna be a whammy, cuz that's gonna be a whammy.
But for the people, man, for the people, I know, but for the people, man, how many children do you have?
I got 3 of them that I know about. This the ugly truth right now. Let me stop.
Nah,
I got 3 children, bro.
Nigga, we black. We play spades. It's impossible.
And I've been in the rap life almost, most of my y'all mean, you know how it go. You know what I'm saying? But no, I got 3 kids, 5 grandkids, bro. 3 kids, 5 grandkids.
5 grandkids.
You looking at a young grandfather, bro. You looking at a young grandfather.
So we ain't even gonna get into the oldest. How old is the youngest? How young is the youngest?
My son, my only son, 15.
So your youngest is 15.
Yep, and we're gonna stop right there. We're
gonna stop
We're gonna
right
leave the age right there. We just say it like this. My oldest daughter be like, Daddy, every time one of my friends come at me, man, talk about how fine you is, they get cut off, nigga. I be like, oh, you funny. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, this Antonius with the green eyes, man. Tony Coates is what
Tony
I call him.
Coates.
Tony
Yes, sir.
Coates,
Yes,
my
sir.
brother. Listen, we said a lot right now. We said a whole lot. We delivered a whole lot. I know I can feel it. There's a whole lot of deliverance of people lifting the guilt off of themselves because we not perfect.
No doubt.
So we went from the beginning. We 75% in. Let's take this last 25% and help the people out. What do Antonius got going on right now? What's Antonius got going on?
Well, of course, you know I'm dropping good music for sure.
Bars, the best in the game
I'm
to me.
dropping good music. I'm in the middle of filming. I got Tony Coates Tempted. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
So what I did on there was I took Bible verses, flipped them to modern day times. You won't even know the story unless you know the story. You know what I'm saying? But that's gonna be my way to get that moving. You know what I'm saying?
Can you, without telling them everything, can you tell them a trailer? Don't tell them everything, but a trailer. What is Tempted about? Like, tell them what it's about.
Go read Luke chapter 4, the temptation of Jesus.
Brought him back around to
Yeah,
them
I'm
scriptures.
saying.
Brought him back around to them scriptures.
Back around to the scriptures, man. Luke chapter 4, man. Temptation of Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you got that movie dropped.
Yep.
What-
Man, I'm working on my drone license, believe it or not. Because
how that work?
I'm trying to transition over into a filmmaker, actually. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all into the cameras and the editing, and I got my first drone to find out you got to have a license, a FAA certified license to drive that guy.
Are you going to get them?
I'm going to get him. I'm going to get them
So
guys.
you're not just going to throw your drone in the air like everybody else?
No. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it legit. That's a part of my maturity too, man. Doing things legit. Speaking of, I hope this bless somebody. So I got a robbery on my record. I got an aggravated assault on my record. I got a unlawful use of weapons on my record. So most definitely 3 felonies already. And as of recently, I just got my letter back from the Illinois Pardon Board saying that I'm up for review in October. And what's about to happen is they about to give me a government pardon on those felonies on my record. So I'm about to be felony free. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is a lot of brothers don't know about that. After 10 years, you catch a felony charge. After 10 years, you have the right to petition whatever state that is for a pardon of those felonies. Not an expungement where they just cover it up, but a full government pardon of your felonies. And that's every man's right. So if you want your stick man to be free, you know what I'm saying? You want to be a free man out here, put your application in to get your pardon if it's already been 10 years. You know what I'm saying? It's real easy. Simple process, and they want to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I get mine. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, my man Antonius has been here dropping bars. Y'all know usually I ain't short for words, but he been dropping bars. He been educating me tonight. One of my last questions. Man, what's up with the music, bro? Like, when is the music dropping? Where can we find the music, the new Antonius?
Man, look,
What's going on?
You
with
want
the
to tune in with me, bro? TonyCoast.com. Antonius is my government name. You do notice, like, this is what my mama named me.
Facts.
Antonius, right? Everybody at the crib, though, they call me Tony Coates. You feel me? Nobody ever addressed me as Antonius, none of my life. So I'm Tony Coates again, man. You know, I am by government Antonius, but I'm back to the root of who I really am now. You know what I'm saying? No more Christian rap market dictating, you know, how I feel about my music no more. It's original again. It's authentic again. So I'm back to my original self, Tony Coates. And you can see me at TonyCoates.com. Real easy, you know what I'm saying? All the new music on there. All the new drops, all the new interviews, exclusive interviews, you know what I'm saying? TonyCoates.com, bro. Still in him.
Hey, man, y'all follow my brother at Tony Coates. Tony Coates. TonyColts.
COLTS.com. Yeah.
Listen, man, so I'm going to say this before we get out of here. Listen, man, so I always express my gratitude, support, and love for my brother, and he hates it because, you know, he's still going through something. But I always say, I be like, bro, I appreciate you. You an OG in this. What you did without even knowing it blessed me. I'm super inspired by it. And I tell him this. He be like, man, go on with all that soft shit. I say, hey, listen, man. Let me tell you something, man. You inspire what I be having going on. Like, I'm a fan, and not a fan of, like, oh, a groupie, but I'm a fan first because that's how I met it. And then I met him as a brother, as a real one who went through what I went through, going through what I'm going through, and gonna always be able to be there but still love the Lord. The man authentic, man. We don't have nobody come on here and play. Like, it's definitely the ugly truth. He keeping it all the way 100. No rap cap. And everybody going through it. We ain't gonna put nobody business out there.
Right.
But ain't nobody not going through it. Everybody has dealt with something. And I mean something big. Your favorite Christian artist, your favorite female Christian artist, your favorite male Christian, they all going through it. The greatest thing is, man, find the God in you. Find the God in you, man. So Antonius just gave us sex, drugs, and Christian rap music, man.
For sure.
So he told y'all he got 3 kids. He done drugs. You dig what I'm saying? And Christian rap music, meaning regardless of what I go through, oh, this the scripture for we in.
Let's go.
No matter how high, how low, and a bunch of other stuff, the depths, nothing can separate me from the love of Christ.
Quit playing. That's it.
Do you hear me?
That's it.
Regardless of what I go through, regardless of what go on in life.
Right.
Regardless of the car flipping over 9 times.
Right.
3 kids, 3 baby moms.
Right.
God still love me and I still love God. Nothing can separate me from the love of Christ.
Right.
And it's not a cop-out. I say this, it's not a cop-out to say nobody perfect. And you
it's
know why?
It's the ugly truth.
It's
the beautiful truth.
You never presented yourself to be perfect. Never.
Right.
Never. There's never been a time where I got it together. Where there might be other people that say, I know God, I got it together, da-da-da. We don't.
No, nobody do, bro.
We don't. At any given situation, something can happen where we're tempted and we fall to the temptation.
Yep.
We don't want to, but it happens in real life.
Yeah, real talk.
But you've been, what you don't like, you've been a pioneer in bringing this game and busting it open, man. I'm proud to even say I know you.
That's what's up.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, I mean that for real. Yes, I can talk to you. I can chop it up. I can call you at any given time, but God sometimes don't show us who we really are all the time.
Right.
To everybody else. He shows who he is to him.
Right.
Because he don't want our ego to get in the way. Bro, you have done such profound things, and not because you're on the show. Like, if I never met you, I would talk about you like a Jay-Z or a Biggie or two. Like, bro, Holmes got this going on, and Holmes did this, and Holmes done that. Even me knowing your story, there's still no loss of respect. There's still no loss of gratitude. Like, it's still high regard for me.
Right.
It's still Antonius for me.
Right.
It's still, nigga, I don't care what you did. You don't know. But nigga, 05, 06, 07, 08, I'm playing a song to help me get through something. There's nothing you can do in my eyes that be like, oh, he this or he that.
Right.
Because it helped me get through. So remember that. Anybody out there, remember that. Like, we impact people in ways we don't know. Like, people may call us and say, man, I appreciate this, and we going through something. And be like, man, listen, I ain't that nigga you think I am.
Right.
No, you is.
Right.
Just because you don't feel like that right now, or you not at that point, we affect everybody. And I want to say from me to you, bro, you've affected me. You've affected millions, bro. Millions of people now, because there's a direct line of Christian rap music being open. There's a direct line of new Christian rap, and even the new Christian rap artists big you up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they say, hey, Antonius this, that, and the third. So
Right.
that's very important for us to respect those that come before us. It's very important for us to understand that God is him. And one of my messages that I would say that we've said the whole night, God is in us. And all they got to do is be fueled.
Right.
You know what I mean? The more we fuel the God in us, the less that we could be used in a different way.
Right.
And that's what I hear from you. Like, man, listen, I'm my grown man. I'm handling my business.
Right.
I went through trials. I went through tribulations, and I was able to see God in all of these.
Right.
But God only used the messed up. He don't use the perfect.
Yeah.
He don't use the people who never been through nothing. He don't use the 4.0 student, so to speak.
Right.
Not saying he can't use y'all, but the 4.0 student, he used, nigga, I had a 0.3 sometime. He gonna use people like you to influence the world. So, man, listen, big ups, salute. Let them know where they can follow you at on all your social media platforms.
Just come to TonyCoates.com. They all right there, man. The Instagram, the Facebook, everything right there. TonyCoates.com, man. Link in, man. For sure.
Is there anything else you want to leave for the people, for the kingdom? Is there any words you want to drop for them before we get up out of here? Because tonight's episode was beyond dope to me. I know it's beyond dope to everybody else, because I'm not easily impressed.
Man, I want the ones that came before to understand something, the ones that came after to understand something. One says, I follow Paul. Another says, I follow after Apollos. Let's switch it up. One says, I follow after T.D. Jakes. One says, I follow after Creflo Dollar.
Ooh.
After all, who is T.D. Jakes and who is Creflo Dollar? Merely servants where people come to believe. While one plants the seed, the other waters the seed. But neither he who plants or waters is anything. Niggas ain't nothing. But God gets the increase, bro. And that's what we got to remember, man. We Johnny Appleseeds out here. You either going to plant or you going to water. But take your hands off God's glory, man. And let him get the increase.
So we're going to give all God's glory on this show. Definitely. I'm going to tell y'all something he ain't tell y'all. He got a documentary coming out over here real soon. Shout out to Tony Coates. Please go follow my brother at TonyCoates.com. Please go tap in to what it really is out here, man. Shout out to all the Christians out here. Shout out to the real kingdom believers who are believing in God. Shout out to the people who are finding God in themselves. When you fall down, get your ass back up and keep going. It don't mean that's forever. You just heard my brother's story, and he's still going. And he shared a story that nobody else shares, that everybody hides for an image to keep making money. He don't care about the money. He care about us. So listen, man, this is definitely the ugly truth. TonyCoates.com, your boy King Ed, man. Y'all know how I get down, man, on the ugly truth. Listen, we going to see y'all on the next episode. We definitely, man, let me ask him before I leave. Are we able to do a part 2 when you're available?
I'm coming back, man. You know what? It's all on the likes and the subscribes, man. If the people want me to come back, I'm coming back.
Hey, like, subscribe, and do everything y'all supposed to do, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, signing on, man. Oh, boy.
For sure. That was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Did we?
I feel like we covered everything.
Man, did we, dog? That was love.
No, that shit was fire. That was top tier.
Yeah, that was fun, bro.